We usually think of inflammation as a good thing, right? A sign our body is healing itself. But what happens when that healing process just never stops? Today, we're diving into chronic inflammation, a kind of silent, smoldering fire inside our bodies that's at the root of so many modern diseases.
I mean, just think about that for a second. Imagine your body's most elite special forces, its best defense team, suddenly refusing to stand down after winning a battle. That, in a nutshell, is chronic inflammation. It's a powerful protective system that when it goes haywire, turns on the very body it was designed to protect.
So, what is it exactly? Okay, think about a sprained ankle. It swells up, gets red, hurts. That's acute inflammation. It's a short, intense, and necessary battle. Chronic inflammation, though, is a whole different beast. It's a prolonged, simmering state where tissue is being destroyed while the body is trying to repair it at the exact same time. It's this constant, vicious cycle that makes it so incredibly damaging. So let's frame this whole thing as a good fight that's gone terribly, terribly wrong. The original mission was simple: heal and protect. But somewhere along the line, the command to cease fire just never came. Yeah, this isn't some quick skirmish. This is a siege, a long, drawn-out siege that can go on for months or even years. And here's the tricky part. Sometimes it's the sequel to an acute injury that never healed right. But a lot of the time, it just starts quietly, insidiously, with no clear starting point, just slowly wearing down your body from the inside out. Okay, so what kicks off this relentless process in the first place? What are the triggers that keep this internal war raging on and on?
Well, it usually comes down to a few key culprits. First, you could have a persistent infection, like tuberculosis, where the bug is just too tough for your body to get rid of. Or it could be prolonged exposure to something your body can't break down, like asbestos fibers. Sometimes, the immune system just gets confused. It starts attacking your own healthy tissues. That's what's happening in autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis. And of course, sometimes it's just that old battle that never truly ended, like a lingering abscess that just won't heal. Now, let's take a look at the battlefield itself. What does this internal conflict actually look like? Well, the evidence is pretty clear, both on the large scale and when you zoom way, way in with a microscope. So here you can really see the two sides of the story. On the left, we've got the macroscopic features, the kind of damage you could actually see, like stomach ulcers or fistulas, which are these bizarre tunnels that form between organs. But then on the right, you have the microscopic evidence. This is the hidden war, the immune cells swarming the area, signs of widespread cell death, and the chaotic beginnings of scar tissue.
If this is a battle, then every battle has a key soldier, right? A main character. And in the story of chronic inflammation, that soldier is, without a doubt, the macrophage.
You see, in a quick, short-term fight, another cell, called the neutrophil, is usually the star player. They're the first responders. But in this long, grinding war, the macrophage absolutely takes center stage. You can think of it as the field commander, trying to orchestrate both the ongoing attack and a very messy cleanup operation at the same time.
So, how does this one cell type get to be so dominant? Well, it's basically a perfect storm. 1, they are constantly being called in for backup from the bloodstream. 2, they actually start to multiply right there on the battlefield. And 3, they get trapped. Chemical signals basically tell them you can check in, but you can never leave. So they're recruited, they multiply, and they just can't get out.
This slide shows the macrophage's bizarre dual nature perfectly. It's a two-faced agent. With one hand, it's unleashing all these destructive toxins and enzymes to kill invaders. But with the other hand, it's desperately trying to repair the damage by releasing growth factors and trying to build new blood vessels. It's literally like trying to rebuild a city while it's still being bombed. The result? Pure chaos and a lot of collateral damage.
So all of this sounds pretty bad. What are the long-term consequences of this endless cycle? Well, this constant pattern of damage and messy repair has some really serious effects, not just at the original site of the battle, but throughout the entire body.
Locally, the biggest problem is fibrosis, which is really just a fancy word for scar tissue. These endless, sloppy repair jobs cause organs to thicken and get rigid. The scar tissue can even contract over time, literally distorting the shape of an organ. And one of the most dangerous results of this is something called a stricture.
A stricture is when all that scar tissue builds up inside a hollow tube, like your esophagus or your intestine, and causes it to narrow, sometimes almost completely. This is incredibly dangerous. It can block the normal flow of food or waste, and it can quickly become a life-threatening medical emergency.
But the effects aren't just local. Oh no! The chemical messengers of inflammation, the cytokines, travel all through your bloodstream, causing problems everywhere. This is why people with chronic inflammation often have a persistent low-grade fever, they lose their appetite, they develop anemia. The constant strain on the immune system can even make organs like the spleen and liver get bigger. It's a conflict that affects the entire nation, not just one city.
So, when you step back and look at the big picture, chronic inflammation isn't just one disease. It's a fundamental process that underlies heart disease, arthritis, diabetes, and so many other conditions we struggle with today. This internal, unending civil war is one of the central challenges in modern medicine. The real question is, as we learn more about the triggers and the soldiers in this war, how will we finally learn to negotiate a lasting peace?